Hello, Beth and viewers. So today, I want to talk about something that's kind of been on my mind lately, and that is home. I'm very homesick at school, and I think it's because in the spring semester we get a lot less time at home than we do in the fall semester. I don't know about your school, Beth, but I have a fall break, and then I have Thanksgiving break, and then I have Christmas break, and they're all kind of like spaced very nicely. In the springtime, there's a lot of events that you'd like to go home for, but you can't, like Easter or Passover. So it's kind of depressing, and I'm sad because I haven't been home in quite some time. So I miss my house and my dog and my room and the comforts of having a car. There's a lot of things I miss about home. I miss being able to talk to my mom every day. You know, being at school, even though I have a cell phone, it's hard to talk to my parents all the time. But today I want to talk about home and what we consider home. I consider school to be my home, but I also consider my home to be my home. Hank Green recently did a video on his side channel where he talked about moving out of his parents' house and what it was like to move out and start your own life. And he made his start point of when he moved out of his parents' life when he went to college. Now, I would not consider myself moved out of my parents' house. Very far from that, in fact. I don't think I'm going to move out of my parents' house until I get my first job. And not just job working at Starbucks type of job. I mean job like career job where I'm going to be making a substantial amount of money. At least enough money to support myself. More and more students are exiting school with tons of debt and no means to make up that debt until they start their career. And then even at that, they have to pay, rent and then more money for more school, grad school, and I still consider my home that I live in when I go home, my home. Does that make any sense? That did not make sense. I still consider myself living under my parents' roof because I am. When I go home from school, I live in their house. I still consider it to be my house. It's not my parents' house yet because I haven't moved out yet. I've only moved to school, and that's because I go to school here and it's not by my parents' house. So I still consider myself a full-time resident of Long Island. Beth, what do you think about this? Do you consider yourself moved out? That's my question this week. Do you consider yourself moved out of your parents' house because you are living at your school now? Or do you still consider that your home and that you kind of have two homes, at your college and at your house where you grew up or where you lived before you went to school? I guess the best way to describe it is every time I go home, it's a little less of my home, but it's still my home. Because every time I go home, I feel like I've changed so much, and it wasn't there for it. It didn't grow with me. I'm only going back to what I was previously when I was there. My room at home kind of almost reminds me of a museum of a different time in my life. All the stuff that hangs on the walls are just artifacts from my middle school and high school years. It shows nothing about who I am right now. Absolutely nothing. I think my room at college is a better job at that. But sometimes you need to be wrapped up in that nostalgia and who you used to be. Mind you, why you are who you are and how you started off on that path. Even though the more I go home, the less it reflects me and the less it knows about me. Not that the home is a physical being, it's just a home, a house, really. It's still there for me. And I think that's really a symbol of your family and the symbol of your life back home when you move away to college. That it doesn't grow with you because it's not there with you. And when you go back to it, you're reminded of where you came from and the values that made you who you are today. And it's always nice to have that reminder and that go-to point for nostalgia of when your life was different. I don't know, I don't mean to get sentimental here, but I really miss home a lot. I don't know. I love where I've come. I love where I came from. Never in a million years would I ever want to move away from my house. When I was little, I used to tell everyone that I was going to buy my parents' house when I grew up. Probably won't do that. I'd probably shoot a little higher, house-wise. Hopefully, if I can. I don't know if you're familiar with the housing market on Long Island, but it's a little expensive. Just a little bit. So that's it. That's all I have for you today, Beth. I hope this video didn't make you too nostalgic for your hometown. I will see you tomorrow, and as always, don't forget to be awesome. I don't think I'm going to move out. I think I'm going to live with my parents forever, you know? I think that's just the way to go. Like, it's worked out for so many people in the past. You know, Obama, I'm pretty sure he lived with his mom before he moved into the White House. It's very reputable.